U.S. President Donald Trump has returned to the United Nations today in New York to boast of his second-term foreign policy achievements and lash out at the world body. During his roughly hour-long speech, he trumpeted himself as a peacemaker and said the UN's empty words don't solve wars. Trump also criticized Canada and more than 150 other nations for recognizing Palestinian statehood, saying the move rewards Hamas for its 2023 attack on Israel. He spoke about the release of Israeli hostages, but didn't mention the thousands of Palestinians killed in the Gaza Strip.
Some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities.
During his address to the UN General Assembly today, President Trump called for an immediate end to the war in Gaza.
But instead of giving in to Hamas's ransom demands, those who want peace should be united with one message: release the hostages now.
Filistin devletini tanıyacağını açıklayan
But Turkey's president called on other countries to recognize a Palestinian state.
Guardi, io personalmente continuo a considerare che il riconoscimento della Palestina in assenza.
The Italian president said her country will only do so if all Israeli hostages are released and the Hamas militant group is excluded from any government role. Meanwhile, Palestinians rallied across the West Bank to celebrate the move. Britain, Canada, Australia, and Portugal all recognized a Palestinian state on Sunday. France, Belgium, and Monaco also joining the list on Monday. Israel has drawn global condemnation over its military conduct in Gaza, where more than 65,000 people have been killed, according to local health authorities. But while some celebrate, some in Gaza feel it won't make a difference.
هل تنفذ قرار من 48 لحتى الآن؟
A 6-year-old displaced man says it's nothing. The recognition of countries is for nothing. Our hope is for God to stop the war, and that's it.
Of course, it's good that the Palestinian cause is more on the agenda, but these symbolic gestures will lead nowhere unless they are accompanied with real action. For example, Sweden, where I'm from, has recognized Palestine for over 10 years. We have had a Palestinian embassy, and we are still complicit in this genocide, financially, politically, and military-wise supporting Israel in this genocide, which makes us complicit.
Meanwhile, at the UN General Assembly today, Trump boasted his second-term foreign policy achievements and lashed out at the world body as a feckless institution. He also warned Europe it would be ruined if it doesn't turn away from a double-tailed monster of ill-conceived migration and green energy policies.
At extreme cost and expense, Europe reduced its own carbon footprint by 37%. Think of that. Congratulations, Europe. Great job. You cost yourself a lot of jobs, a lot of factories closed, but you reduced the carbon footprint by 37%. However, for all of that sacrifice and much more, it's been totally wiped out and then some by a global increase of 54%.
Scientists say climate change is real, mostly caused by humans, and getting worse. They point to rising temperatures, stronger storms, and melting ice as clear signs. Groups like the UN have warned that waiting too long to act could cause serious damage to the planet and people. Trump is also trending today after he jokingly complained about a UN escalator and the teleprompter.
All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen, but she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work.
However, a UN official said the White House had operated its own teleprompter after Trump finished speaking. The UN General Assembly president saying,
"As we are receiving queries, I would like to assure you that don't worry, the UN teleprompters are working perfectly."